Oh wow. Trauma detected. That thing tried to fucking wreck me. What's up, agents? How y'all doing? The non-comprehensive Artificer guide was one of the most comprehensive videos I did. It took me about 2 weeks to put it all together, edit it, get it together, and it was a lot of information. That video, unless I fucked up, is right there, or there. It's over there. So what I did not do in the part 1 of the comprehensive guide was to put together some builds and show you how to possibly run the Artificer. I would say maximize it, but I'm sure there's guys who have come up with ideas that are even beyond this. If you guys have good ideas, please leave them in the comments. We'll get into it in more detail, but basically everything is going to be based off the Artificer Hive. We're going to be using the Artificer to buff all of our team's skills. We're going to be using a combination of talents, gear sets, and weapons to buff our team and debuff enemies. So the one thing I'll quickly cover before we get into the in-depth portion, all the good nitty-gritty details, is we'll talk about the second skill that you can run. So I'm running the shock traps. We'll get into further detail on this in a moment. But let's go through possible things. Sticky bomb. Nothing you can really do there that benefits the team. Okay, light enemies on fire or whatever, but that doesn't really benefit. Decoy. This is an interesting idea. With skill tier 6, you have a fairly robust decoy. You could run the Mantis, run this, and then have, this would give support through having a decoy to grab aggro. A completely legitimate thing to do would be to run Pulse. You could run the Scanner Pulse. I personally was running the Remote Pulse when I was in the gameplay that I do in a bit. And you can run the Jammer Pulse if you want an EMP as well. Turret, all you really have is the Flame Turret, which can act as an area denial weapon. Chem Launcher is interesting. You can, of course, run a heal if you want to just help the team that way to support them. Fire Starter, same as the other flame things. I mean, cool, you can light guys on fire, but it doesn't do a whole lot. The Riot Foam is actually very interesting because if you, instead of the normal perks that I mentioned, one thing I don't mention is pairing the Riot Foam with Creeping Death, I think it's called, which is the backpack perk, which actually applies your status effect to all enemies within 8 or 10 meters. So you could use this Riot Foam to basically ensnare a whole group of enemies, and then your team can just plow them down. So that is a viable option there. Firefly, you could run the Blinder. This, of course, will help the team out by blinding all the enemies. If they're blind, they're not shooting you. And you got the Demolitionist. Actually, the Demolitionist can work great. This can do things like kill all robotics immediately. This can destroy the healing pack on the heavies instantly. So there's a lot of benefit that you can get from the Demolisher when you're fighting enemies with robotics and weak points. The problem is, as soon as a weak point's destroyed, the Demolisher is no longer useful against that particular enemy once they no longer have another weak point. It will not do any damage directly to an enemy. Nothing. The Seeker Mine doesn't really help. Drone doesn't really help. And the Shield doesn't really help. Alright guys, and the last thing we'll do real quick before getting into the video, this just looks so cool that I just like doing it. Get our Overwatch going, we got our Future Initiative, we get our Artificer out there, and then spread these beauties. Once more, just because it looks so cool, and I like to see that Galvanized proc. Bam! I love it. I love it. First we have the Bullet King. So you have Exotic LMG. Bullet Hell. This weapon never needs to be reloaded, and it helps the group through the second portion of the perk. For every 100 bullets that hit an enemy, replenish some ammo to you and your allies' reserves. So this can be beneficial to give ammo back to your group, particularly in the summit, or if you have directives like ammo hoarders active. The other exotic that I found that helps to benefit the team is the Scorpio, and this is a shotgun. Comes with the talent Septic Shock. Shooting a target applies stacks of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing stacks adds more severe debuffs to the target. 1 stack adds poison, 3 stacks adds disorient, 6 stacks adds shock, 7 stacks targets takes additional 20% damage from all sources, and the stacks no longer increase. The duration of the status effects is based on the percentage of pellets that hit on the applying shot. The interesting thing is the status effect itself is based on the number of pellets, yet the effect lasts for 10 seconds, the stacks. And so what that means is the effect may wear off, but you still have stacks, so you can still keep ramping up until that target takes that 20% damage, which that's ultimately what you would be aiming for in the group buff. And as you guys will see with the Galvanized perk on the backpack, this also works in conjunction with that fairly well. Now, if through your support build you were doing any form of healing to your team, you may want to go with the Designated Hitter or some other weapon with Reformation. But Perfect Reformation, headshots grant plus 40% skill repair for 15 seconds. This is 10% higher than the standard Reformation, which is only 30% skill repair for 15 seconds. My favorite weapon to run with a support build, however, is the Grudge submachine gun with Perfect Vindictive. Killing an enemy with the status effect applied grants you and all allies within 20 meters 18% crit hit chance and 18% critical hit damage for 20 seconds. So this is a huge team buff right here. I actually got a God roll on this bad boy. So this 41% crit hit chance and 50% crit hit damage, as soon as we proc Perfect Vindictive, that's going to put us at 59% crit hit chance. So 1% under the cap, right? And that will kick us up to 68% crit hit damage. So this is one of the better weapons I can actually use for this any iteration of this build. Next, we got to talk about the exotic pieces that you could use that would benefit the team. The first one being the Coyote's Mask. Pack Instincts. You and all allies gain a bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. 0 to 15 meters gives you plus 25% crit hit damage for everybody in the team. 15 to 25 gives 10% crit hit chance and crit hit damage. And 25 plus meters gives plus 25% critical hit chance. So running this in conjunction with the Grudge, of course, will give people huge benefits to crit hit chance and crit hit damage. Of course, a huge benefit to the team is the BTSU gloves with the transference overclock. Specifically, detonating a Hive refreshes your skill cooldown and grants overcharge for 15 seconds. If it's skill tier 6, which we are, this applies to all allies. So this is a way to automatically refresh all of your allies' skills, and regardless of their skill tier, for this 15 seconds, they will be in full overcharge. Unfortunately, you can only proc this once every 2 minutes. Let's not forget about Acosta's Go Bag. This can be used, so 2 different talents on this bad boy. One in hand, throwing a grenade refunds it and grants plus 1 skill tier for 15 seconds. Grants overcharge if already at skill tier 6. The cooldown is 60 seconds, so that means once every 75 seconds, I can get 15%. I can get 15 seconds of overcharge, which will kick my Artificer in overcharge, and that will buff everybody else's skills and buff the healing of their skills or whatnot for that 15 seconds, as well as overcharge whatever my secondary skill happens to be. 2 in the bag, plus 1 armor kit capacity, plus 3 grenade capacity, which doesn't matter if I'm getting my grenades refunded anyway, plus 25% ammo capacity, awesome, plus 10% repair skills, and plus 10% status effects. And the last of the exotic armor pieces that I believe you can use to benefit the team would be the tardigrade. This has the ablative nanoplating. When you or an ally's armor breaks, they gain 80% of your armor as bonus armor for 10 seconds. It does have a 45-second cooldown. Killing an enemy with your specialization weapon removes this cooldown for all allies. Overall, I do not think the tardigrade is the best piece to run. Alright, agents, now we're just going to get into the chest and backpack talents that you could use. Alright, so we're just going to truck on down the list. First one, we got Empathic Resolve. Repairing an ally increases their total weapon and skill damage by 3 to 15% for 20 seconds. 1 to 7% if self. The effectiveness increases with your skill tier. Since we are at skill tier 6, that will equate to 13% bonus damage for our allies and 6% for ourselves. If you overcharge, that will be the 15% and 7. One of my favorite perks to help up the team, Overwatch. After staying in cover for 10 seconds, you increase you and your allies' total weapon and skill damage by 10% as long as you remain in cover or in a cover-to-cover move. Since we're a support build, we are going to be in cover almost all the time anyway. And as you guys will see, this functions and synergizes really well with the Future Initiative 4 piece, the ground control. If you are running with the shield, Vanguard is a great perk to help the team. Deploying a shield makes it invulnerable for 5 seconds. It grants 45% of your armor as bonus armor to all other allies for 20 seconds. The cooldown is only 25 seconds, so that means there's actually only a 5-second downtime if you have somebody who's paying attention and constantly puts away and redeploys their shield at the appropriate time. Protected Reload, it's alright. Grants 18% of your armor's bonus armor to all other allies when they are reloading. This is only good if you have somebody who's at actual full tank build, full armor. You know, if somebody's hitting around 2 million plus armor, this can actually be pretty cool. And that's pretty much for the team perks on the chest. Now let's go ahead and look at the backpacks. Of course, if you're a healer, there's Safeguard, but that's not what we're really looking at here. Overclock. Allies within 7 meters of your deployed skills gain plus 25% reload speed, and it reduces their active cooldowns by 0.2 seconds each second. Leadership. Performing a cover-to-cover grants 15% of your armor as bonus armor to you and all allies for 10 seconds. This is doubled if you end up within 10 meters of an enemy. So if you do a cover-to-cover towards an enemy, you and your teammates are going to get 30% of your armor as bonus armor for that 10 seconds. Protector, once again, if running a shield build, particularly this works really great with Vanguard. When your shield is damaged, you gain plus 5% bonus armor, and all other allies gain 15% of your armor as bonus armor for 3 seconds. Has a cooldown of 3 seconds. Well, what that means is literally as soon as you take damage, the cooldown is the time that the bonus armor is active. So this just means that you can't continue to get bonus armor. If you get, say I have 1 million armor, or the guy has 1 million armor, right? So I get 150,000 armor when he uses this. For 3 seconds, I only have 150,000. It's not like he's getting shot and that keeps refreshing. If they do over 150,000 within that 3 seconds, I will start taking actual damage. But if 3 seconds goes by and they only do 148,000 worth of damage, so I have 2,000 left, and the shield gets damaged, all of a sudden I'm back to that 150,000 bonus armor. Opportunistic can be a great perk to use if you are using the Scorpio, which is already debuffing enemies. Enemies you hit with shotguns and marksman rifles amplifies the damage they take by 10% from all sources for 5 seconds. So notice this is just amplifies. So everybody, whatever their final damage number is, multiply that by another 1.1, and that's how much damage they're going to take. You can also couple this up with a marksman rifle, but the Scorpio just this works so well if you want to run a shotgun build. And lastly, that leads to what my favorite perk to use is Galvanize. Applying a blind ensnare, confuse, or shock to an enemy grants 40% of your armor's bonus armor to allies within 20 meters of that enemy for 10 seconds. And since I'm always running some sort of status effect, the best variations of the support build I've found so far, I use Galvanize. Alright, so lastly, guys, that leads us to the gear sets. And there's 2 different gear sets that, if you use them, can help to benefit a support build. The first one is the Future Initiative gear set. 2-piece, if you are running healing, will help with a 30% repair skill. 3-piece, the 15% skill haste and the 30% skill duration are beneficial. But the main thing is ground control. Increases you and your allies' total weapon and skill damage by 15% when at full armor. So what this means is that as long as I'm at full armor, I do 15% more damage. As long as any of my teammates are at full armor, they do 15% more damage. As soon as they take damage, their damage goes down. I had somebody ask me about it. They thought, if I take damage, does it go down for my entire team, and why don't I just stay covered? No. Each person has to be at full armor for them to take advantage of the ground control perk. But by me having this equipped, it means nobody else has to run the Future Initiative gear set. What it means is they can run more beneficial either gear sets or high-end builds to benefit their specific build. Or if they want to, who knows, maybe one person will run Future Initiative, and while that's happening, the other person, if you want to run 2 support or something similar, we got the True Patriot gear set. So the 2-piece gives 30% additional ammo capacity. This can be actually good with using the Bullet King and with ammo hoarders or some sort of directive where you are impeded with the amount of ammo you get. So the 3-piece gives you 30% magazine size. Nothing wrong with that. But let's check out the 4-piece. Red, white, and blue. Every 2 seconds, enemies you shoot receive a stacking debuff of red, white, and blue. Red amplifies the enemy's damage taken by 8%. White, shooting the enemy repairs the attacking agent's armor by 2% once every second. So, if you shoot an enemy and they get the white stack, anybody else shooting them will actually get armor repair. Lastly, blue, decreases the enemy's damage dealt by 8%. Obviously, you can see where this benefits the entire team. And then, of course, there's full flag. Enemies that die while under the effect of all 3 debuffs create a 5-meter explosion, dealing damage equal to their total health and armor, and the damage number is reduced. This, of course, doesn't help the team, except in the side effect that, if somebody notices there's an enemy within a group of enemies that's weak, has the full flag debuff, you kill him, and that enemy sometimes will explode and destroy the entire group. Alright, agents, as of the making of this video, these are all the perks, talents, and exotic pieces that I've found that really help to synergize a support build. If you guys have any other ideas, other things that can be added to this, or anything I've missed, please comment below, let me know. Alright, let's get into the current iteration I'm running. Alright, agents, I'll show you what I'm using right now. This is what I found to be the most effective. So since the only 2 places we're looking at getting talents other than from exotics is on the chest and the backpack, I figured the best thing to do is run one of the gear sets. Between the True Patriot and the Future Initiative easily gives the better perk overall for the group because I don't have to be out shooting, and it allows me to do the other things I need to do to provide support. Mainly, keep the Artificer Hive in the best location it could be, stay in cover to keep up Overwatch, and to try to keep my shock traps in the right position to support, defend the group, and to proc Galvanize as often as possible. While Galvanize is procced and I have the bonus armor, they have the bonus armor, I will get up and try to proc the Perfect and Vindictive to buff my team's damage that way. So let's just get through. I'm just going to go through real quick. So what I would do, say I could go up to the cover up there, there's enemies nearby or whatnot. Say I was going to the chair, right? I'd basically throw this hive to the chair, get ready to run there. But then we toss this out. This will be everywhere. Now watch the Artificer. Look at that. See that? Let's do this. And you guys see we proc the Vindictive now. And now I can switch back over here. And now do this. There's Future Perfect. So now we got our overcharge, right? And now I can switch back Bullet King and just start wrecking shop. And we got all of our bonuses active, guys. Alright guys, we're going to go super quick style through this build, alright? We're using the Technician. This gives us an EMP, that's a Disrupt. So this is something that can help to proc the Galvanize on the for your group to give them the bonus armor, as well as help to suppress enemies. We get +1 skill tier. This allows us to run armor, so that way when we proc the Galvanize, that will give them that much more bonus armor. Robotics doesn't really matter. The armor kit's healing friendly proxies. We can use this to heal our ally shields or skills. The main reason why we're using Technician though is the Artificer. So it gives us the Artificer Hive, which will boost all the other skills for our teammates. Faraday Field is important. This will keep our teammates' skills from getting disrupted. Anybody who's next to the Hive. Unfortunately, I was hoping that this would work with the shock traps, but it does not. 15% bonus armor while aiming a skill, not very effective. If I didn't have this set, and if it didn't change for other builds, I would probably actually switch this over to the skill healing, because the Artificer Hive might heal more, but I'm not sure about that. One other thing is this gives us the Technician Laser Pointer, which allows us to be able to pulse targets if we want to. This can help our teammates if we have teammates running Spotter, but they do not have a pulse. Alright, before getting into the gear, we're running the Artificer Hive. This sends out micro electro booster drones that expand themselves to increase allied skills efficiency and refresh the duration. Periodically releases a drone whilst holstered. This drone affects only your skills. This doesn't matter. I'm not using a skill that would matter. The shock traps have to be deployed to get the benefit. You get 32 charges. Buff amount is 70%. The buff duration lasts 10 seconds. It'll heal any skill that it repairs will get healed 98%, and it will refresh 15 seconds of the skill for each one of the drones that buffs it. Then we are using the Shock Trap. Shock Trap scatters a minefield of small devices capable of shocking targets moving in their proximity. I don't believe that the cooldown reduced when the traps expire. I haven't seen that. Applies shock status effect on targets affected. This deploys 16 traps. The traps have a shock radius of 4.2 meters and the duration of just over 7 seconds. Alright, weapons. We're using the Bullet King to give ammo back to our teammates. The primary weapon I'm using is the Grudge. And since we're shocking enemies, I will burst one of them down if I can to proc the 18% crit hit chance, crit hit damage for our team. And then I have the backup boomstick with Future Perfect. So if one of those guys is shocked and down, if Vindictive has already been procced, I will whip this out. And this is a way of overcharging. So this can buff the entire team through the Artificer Hive overcharge. We're using the 4-piece Future Initiative for the increased ground control. Any of the teammates that have full armor will do 15% bonus damage. I'm using a GL chest piece with Overwatch. This Overwatch means that I will buff the team 12% damage after I've been in cover for 10 seconds. And once I'm in cover, I will try to move around and maintain the proper positioning of the Artificer Hive by doing cover-to-cover move. And generally what I will do is I will be in cover, I'll figure out where the next cover is, I'll toss the Artificer Hive in that direction, I'll do the cover-to-cover, pick up the Hive as I'm moving there, get ready to move to the next spot, toss the Hive there, go, and that's how I can move and help move forward with the team. You'll notice that I have 170,000 armor on here since we are using Technician. This is a big benefit, especially when we add in the Galvanize. Applying a blind, ensnare, confuse, or shock to an enemy grants 40% of your armor as bonus armor to allies within 20 meters of that enemy for 10 seconds. And since we're filling the field with the shock traps, That means anybody who's next to an enemy shocked or in the remote vicinity will get that bonus. And then if they can proc down somebody with Vindictive, this will kick up the bonus for the entire team. And if I'm there, I can do that job. I did run a second goal in here. I was running Murakami, but Murakami really doesn't benefit the shock duration. It just benefits the duration the traps are out there, and that really doesn't matter. In fact, we were way better. I was way better off going with the 1% armor regeneration. This just makes sure that I can stay in cover and try to stay at full armor as often as possible. This is EMP. I think we want EMP. Yeah, we want EMP on there for another status effect. There we go. Now, everything else you guys will see in the video. I'll probably do a little commentary as the playthrough. I did some playthrough with this build. I also did some where I switched out and we ran with the Acosta's go bag. If you run with Acosta's, of course, you can get 2 different versions of overcharge. So that's pretty cool, too. You do lose out, though, on the 1% armor regen. Of course, you can always make up for that with putting an armor on kill mod on. I know it's not the same thing, but that can be a substitute if you need to go that route. Oh, and I am running just all skill haste mods everywhere on this. There it is. The nice thing about both Future Perfect and Vindictive is they're both perks that you can switch out your weapons and the perk remains. Most weapons, like Spike, if you switch the gun, you lose it. In Sync, if you switch your gun, you immediately lose it. I'm sure there's Perpetuation, if you switch guns, you immediately lose it. There's a lot of these perks. Reformation, if you switch guns, you immediately lose it. You know, so just food for thought. Alright, agents, thanks for checking this out. Now I'll just show some video of me trying to use the support build with some other people in some groups, and you guys can see the results. Alright, so you guys notice we just tossed this out right there where everybody's at. Get everything set, toss our grenade, procs our overcharge. And now we're just going to go ahead and whip out the grudge. Get Vindictive procced right here. And now our team has 20 seconds of that 18% crit hit chance and crit hit damage buff. Another good old set of dudes coming down, and how's this going to work out for them? Alright, there's no reason that drone should have been able to get to me, considering I had to go across that full minefield. You guys notice one of the dudes in our group is running the tardigrade, so that really just saved my ass right there.
Sensitive data, but I think we're okay.
You know that bitch hiding from us was at Roosevelt Island.
Not a drone.
Deal to get an evac and fucked over down.
Stayed on the island with us. He's lived long.
Alright, we proc that. Now we'll do this. And just keep everybody's ammo up.
System reactivated.
They have a drone!
Leave it for now. We'll get to those when we're done.
This looks like another good chance to proc Vindictive. Let's switch over and see if we can do this. Bam. Team buff, let's go. Hey, how's that dude running? What he's doing, dude, that dude was a fucking fully electrocuted and sprinting. Alright, that was all fucked up.
An agent needs assistance.
I gotta get the fuck out of there. Alright, so now we're running the remote pulse with the Acostas for overcharge, and this will allow everybody to do bonus damage to pulse enemies, even if they don't have spotter equipped. Probably be good to lay down some suppressive fire while they're getting that revive. I guess that's a good part of the support build. One thing you may have noticed is somebody in the team is actually running with the Coyote's mask, because we have that buff on the buff bar down there. So this is one of the things that you could use in your build to buff the team's damage, the Coyote mask. And it's good that we have somebody running it, so that's definitely helping the team out.
What the hell's going on over there?
My sister is down.
Sorry to hear it, but stick to the mission. Do you copy?
Fuck the mission. These fuckers are gonna pay.
Do not deviate from the objective, Tails. Am I understood?
Alright, the trick now is to just stay in Overwatch the whole time, so the team maintains that benefit the entire time. That it? Yep. Alright, let's see if we can't proc galvanize for our team right here. I'm sure one of these chargers should... Oh, there it is right there. Check that out.
Got one left gun!
Just to show you guys, Galvanize does work on yourself too, see? You guys may notice all the debuffs this guy has above his head. That's from the guy in our group running with the Scorpio. And so that's not only giving these guys all these debuffs, but we'll actually, when he hits the 7 stacks, we'll all do that bonus damage. So that's a pretty awesome thing to have in the build. Or in the group, rather. In case any of you guys are wondering why I threw the Artificer out there in the middle of the field, that's so that it will proc and benefit all of the shock traps, and also keep refreshing the buff on everybody's drones as they pass through it.
I'm working as fast as I can. Just aim that thing somewhere. These guys are insane. I have to get me out of here.
Dude, what in the holy hell? Dude, what the fuck? And it totally fucking up the Overwatch. Alright guys, it's just a beautiful thing when you can get into an elevated covered position, cover the whole ground, and it's just like fish in a barrel. Look at this. They can't do anything. Alright, 2 named big boys. This has got to be fun. I don't think they're going to stand a chance. Let's find out. By the way, you guys notice that sniper up there? Let's see if we can use the bullet key to keep him suppressed enough to where he doesn't cause any real damage. And right back to the big guys. Maybe we'll sweep up there again just to try to keep those guys suppressed. Yeah.
An agent needs assistance.
Alright, 2 agents down and the suicide guy right next to me. I could definitely be in a better position right now. Alright, I got one. Let's go get the other one. I'd say, despite me being the support build, I feel like I'm doing all the hard work myself.
Serious
Ooh,
trauma
let's
detected.
go pick up some of this heal here. Thank God for galvanized. Alright, let's take care of some of this. Alright, 2 rockets up top. Here's the Vindictive I was looking for.
Serious trauma detected.
No, seriously, I took out the whole first tanker by myself, and nobody even touched the second tanker. What do you guys think the chances are I have to take this whole thing down by myself? I should have proc Vindictive right there. There we go. Wait, did I really get more damage with the same amount of kills as G-Man 28 with my support build? Well, this is fun. And got to show the support build. Look at this minefield though, that's pretty cool. Thanks a lot for checking this out, guys. Smash that like if you like the video. If you haven't already, subscribe if you think this is worth watching. I try to keep coming out with content all the time. And best of all, if you guys see something in this you liked, if you guys saw something in this you didn't like, and if you guys have any ideas for future builds or how to make this build better, please comment down below. I like the interaction. I like to get the community working together. If you guys can, help support my work. You guys take it easy. Be safe out there. I'll see you all in the dark zone.